Ever wonder about the powerful messages hidden within the suit of swords in tarot? Today I'm going to explore this fascinating suit to uncover its wisdom and guidance. The swords represent the element of air, embodying intellect, thoughts, and communication. But they have a bad reputation. Many of the swords cards seem to foretell arguments, discontent, illness, and death. While they can represent these things, they more likely represent intangible mental views and activity. They can be more ambivalent, so should be interpreted with care. They're all about the mind, clarity, and truth. When the swords appear, they show how you might feel about a situation instead of physical or solidified circumstances. They can represent hopes, fears, dreams, and nightmares, and even just a general sense of foreboding. But these cards don't necessarily have to be related to real situations. They should be seen as representing the surface of the querent's mind. Sword cards commonly come up a lot in readings these days because we live in an increasingly stressful world. It is helpful to check the cards surrounding the swords to give more context to the situation that a querent may be facing. Now let's explore the 14 Sword Tarot cards, one by one. Starting with the Ace of Swords, a card of new ideas and breakthroughs. It's like that eureka moment when everything just clicks. It can represent victory, success, triumph, or a complete change of mind. It's telling you to embrace new beginnings and clear thinking. When the Ace of Swords comes up reversed, it can mean destruction, violence, misuse of power, and sometimes even death, depending on other cards. Next, the Two of Swords. Picture a figure blindfolded, holding two crossed swords. This card speaks of indecision and the need for balance. It's a gentle nudge to trust your intuition and make a choice. When this card comes up reversed, it can represent misguided advice that might be leading you in the wrong direction. It's showing some difficulty making up your mind and not having a clear picture of a situation. Now, the Three of Swords. Yeah, this one's tough. It often signifies heartache and sorrow. But remember, it's also a reminder that healing and growth come from facing our pain head-on. If this card comes up reversed, it can mean an even deeper sorrow, discord, confusion, and loss. But in some cases, the Three of Swords reversed can mean recovery from heartbreak. Look to the surrounding cards to help with your interpretation. The Four of Swords brings a sigh of relief. It suggests rest and recovery. It's a call to take a step back and recharge your mental batteries. In the reversed position, it can mean forced seclusion, imprisonment, and banishment from social affairs. Moving on to the Five of Swords. Think conflict and tension. This card warns against dishonesty and selfish victories. It can show loss, defeat, negative thinking, and attitudes. It's a lesson in humility and integrity. When this card comes up reversed, it can mean weakness, indecision, and sometimes paranoia. But also some like to read reversals as the reversed of situations. If that type of reading resonates with you, you might interpret this card as victory after a battle. The Six of Swords is like a gentle breeze after a storm. It signifies transition and moving towards calmer waters. It's a beacon of hope and progress. It can mean long journeys and a passage away from pain and difficulty. Success after trouble and anxiety. If this card comes up reversed, it can mean retreat from difficulties that bring only temporary relief. One obstacle has barely been overcome before another takes its place. Now for the Seven of Swords. This card can mean trickery and deceit. It's a heads up to be cautious and vigilant. But also, it's about strategy and using your wits. When this card comes up reversed, it can mean indecision, laziness, and failure of resolve. There could be a reluctance to complete projects started. The Eight of Swords depicts a figure bound and blindfolded. It's all about feeling trapped by our thoughts. There could be restriction, crisis, censure, and jealousy, often from family or co-workers. Yet it reminds us that liberation starts from within. The reverse position shows freedom, release, and recovery by distancing the problem. It can also mean hard work with little reward. The Nine of Swords is the card of nightmares, anxiety and fear. It could mean deception, depression, and suffering. There could be violence, scandal, and loss. In the reverse position, this card shows misery, despair, isolation, and maybe even institutionalization. This card is a sign to confront your worries and seek support. Finally, the Ten of Swords. A bit grim, with those 10 swords pinned down, it represents sudden misfortune, accidents, robbery, and desolation. In the reversed position, this card means violent and extreme change, but this card is also about endings and the dawn of a new day. And then we have the Court cards. These cards can represent actual people surrounding the querent and the situation they are facing, or they can represent a dominant energy. If representing people, the Swords Court cards tend to show someone with black hair, or sometimes hair that is dyed bold colors. It can show someone with eyes that tend to blue, a fair or pale complexion, and a thin and long body type. The first court card is the Page of Swords. Pages can represent children, someone that has newly entered your life, or a situation that is in its beginning stages. The Page of Swords is a person of grace, dexterity, and vigilance. They can be good at negotiation, or this can mean a message of change coming. If this card comes up reversed, it can mean a devious, frivolous person, possibly vindictive or two-faced. Depending on other cards, it can foretell bad health or unforeseen circumstances, causing a change in plans. The Knight can represent young men or women under the age of 30. It can represent an active, clever individual, but may be domineering. It can also represent events moving quickly into your life for both good or bad. If this card comes up reversed, it can mean a deceitful and sly individual who may be secretive. This position can also represent arguments. The Queen represents married or mature women, or a person with feminine energy. She is an intelligent and complex woman. She's highly intelligent and perceptive. She is talented at balancing opposing forces to further her ends. If this card comes up reversed, it can mean an unreliable person who may be deceitful. She may be narrow-minded, intolerant, and like to gossip. The King represents mature men, or a person with masculine energy. This person can be rational, very logical, have an inventive mind, but can also be very traditional. This can represent a man of law, an enforcer of authority. If this card comes up reversed, it can represent a person of calculating and impersonal nature. He can sometimes be malicious, unjust, and cruel. The Page, Knight, Queen, and King of Swords each bring their unique energy, from curiosity and action to wisdom and authority. So, this is my summary of the Suit of Swords in the traditional tarot system. Next time you see a sword in your tarot spread, remember its profound messages. Embrace the clarity, face the challenges, and let your mind soar. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell for more videos.